sign, an orange grove on Olympus.
People of Atlantis, hear my voice. I have wanted as my husband has left my side for Greece to cavort with the maidens there. Day after day, year after year, he has forgotten his duty to me, his wife. I will stand for this no longer. To rid myself of the pesky and attractive Greeks, I will help you in your war. I will divert Zeus's attention so that you can use your secret weapon against the hated Greeks. But to keep Zeus completely distracted, I will need the services of the hero Jason. When I am ready to set my plan in motion, I will visit you.
With Hera's words in their hearts, Atlantean soldiers are again ready to strike out into the Mediterranean to remove the Greek threat once and for all. Sailing the seas, their chests puffed out with Atlantean pride, they know that the end is near, and that they will soon be able to return to their homes for good. The secret weapon is aimed and at the ready. The scientists are only waiting for the command to fire it upon Mycenae. After the weapon is fired, brave Atlantean soldiers will march into Greece to extinguish the Greek threat once and for all.
Absolutely, so this is the mission, the end of the threat, and this is the final mission of the Atlantis Reborn campaign. We've got to fulfill a quest, conquer Mycenae, we've already conquered Mount Pelion, build a temple to Olympus, and basically have 5,500 people in Townhouse are better and 400 people in Estate are better. We already meet 2 of these goals, as I've said. Mount Pelion's conquered, and we also already have houses, the houses and all that. So let's head to the city and pause, and we can just save. It's been a long, long adventure, this, very difficult, but all we have to do now, and Mount Olymp is actually gone, so it's a good thing we didn't really need to waste time training with them because they are useless. So we have everyone else, all of our elite housing, and yeah, we could just let it run, really. I just got to wait for the quest. Now, Jason does need frigates, so I'm going to have to wait until this area opens up before I can do that, which is kind of annoying, but never mind. So we've left the city as it was. Let's just delete this road. So all I can do now is really wait until something happens, essentially, and I'll come back in at the start when something of importance happens in the mission, because there's nothing to do except wait.
Greetings, fair one. I have a very important quest for you.
Indeed you do, Hera. Find Jason and send a hero to me. I will arrange for Zeus to catch you with Jason in a compromising position. He'll be so enraged he won't notice what you do to Greece. That's a very interesting particular diversion. So you're going to get Jason to go to you, Hera, and make Zeus find you in a compromising position. I don't get that, but never mind. Jason's Hall can now be built. And we are just going to put that... where do we just put it? Here. This looks good. So it just needs a couple of frigates. We've got everything else. We've got horses and stuff. We've got tons of food. Bunch of charioteer companies. I just need to get frigates. But I can't do that because there's no space to build them. I mean, literally the only place... In fact, there's actually nowhere to put a frigate on this map, thanks to all the trading changes. In fact, you might get like 1 or 2 there, but that is it. I mean, that you're using all the space for all the trade you need to do, so not much you can do. Here, I will put in some stuff here because we will be able to put a bunch of urchin keys and all that, and we will support that. Now, you'll notice that down here I put down a bunch of orange tenders. There's a reason for that. This is going to become the main orange source when a certain event floods and opens this, but at the same time as it floods and opens this, all of this will be lost, essentially. So in theory I should be cutting down these orchards here, but I'm not going to, there's no point. With this supply of olives and all that, we are keeping the city pretty stable, so all I need to do now is wait for the flood to happen. I wonder if it'll happen very soon, but I can't do anything. There's these gifts as always. Just accept all of that. I have filled up this yard over here with oranges. So there's that there, and this are all going to be getting. This just makes sure that this is all close by. How's this doing? 939. These are all 100% stable, so it's good. Hopefully all of this will transfer over here quite nicely and I'll be able to keep it all supported. If not, I can just sort of maybe get a road down there? No, I would be able to get a road around the back here and just spam them out like mad, basically. Just have a couple of them around here. Just make sure that this is all nice and stable. And you'll see I'm transferring this over. This is going to accept urchins and this was going to accept oranges instead. Which is fine. So I'm just going to let this run. I'm going to come back in when the flood event happens, because that's when I can start finally meeting the mission goals. Okay, so I'm coming back in here just to show you a couple of important events. 3 cities all have economic declines. Memphis, Tyre and Atlantis. I don't actually know what it means, but as far as I know, it just means that they stop having as many coins. As you can see, Memphis only has like 1 coin. I don't think there's any way to see suffered economic decline, but it doesn't actually say what that means. I'm not sure what it means. I've never actually tried to work out what it means, but I suspect it means that the coins decrease. Over here I put down the Temple of Olympus and halted construction. It doesn't need sculpture, so I am going to be selling off armor. I think I've replaced all but 1 sculpture studio with armories, basically, just to make sure. And I might just dump it up here, to be honest, with whoever buys it. I'm not sure. Actually, when this opens up, I may be able to get a trade post or 2 in here and start selling armor from down here, because I know I can do that. And I'll also spam urchin keys all the way around here just to provide an additional food source. But here it is. You can see it happening. Opened up. All over. Oh my word, that has done a lot of damage. I wasn't expecting it to do that much. It's wiped out everything, which doesn't help, and I'm going to have to rebuild some of this. I didn't think it was that devastating, actually. Maybe I got it wrong. Oh dear. So I've lost some connections here. I'm going to have to rebuild this. That's going to have to be lost. That's a couple of buildings that are going to have to be destroyed. Can I get a bridge in there? Yes, I can. I'm going to have to shift everything around. So I'm going to go and do that. I'm going to shift everything around, and I'm going to come back in once I rebuilt all of this lost area, because it looks as if we have lost a bunch of trees as well, which doesn't help, and I've also lost all of this as well. For some reason, if you have a look, there is 1 spot here that, yeah, just there. It's the only place it doesn't get lost. I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll get all this sorted. I'll come back in once I've sorted it. Okay, so I have recovered from the flood. I've tried to get a bridge. I don't know why, but for some reason I can't put a bridge there, even though it has clearly a bridge point. I'm not sure why, because if I put it out like that, it goes away out to over here, which there's no landmass there, so I'm not sure why that point is not a bridgeable point. Anyway, I have rebuilt all of my olive presses, and I've also put in a bunch of urchin keys in places now. Over here you can see there are some orange tender lodges that are now empty, so they're just going to be wiped out over time, because as you can see, wage rates are very high, but we have a massive labour problem, which doesn't help. So every time one of these empties, I'm just going to delete it, and I don't care if there's no food in it, it's not a big deal. I have also, just snip over here, 5 of these is going to be more than enough, I think. Just realised when I put these down. Now I'm going to need to bring over 2 sets of goods. We're going to bring over a little bit of armour. I'm going to bring over no more than 8 armour. And actually, we don't even need to have a yard getting wood. I can just put down 2 timber mills, that'll do. And that'll supply all the wood for there. There's plenty of trees around here. So that's the main flood event that opens up this whole area. But unfortunately, it sort of messes up things. It's not too good. Everything is still stable because planning. So now all I have to do is build the temple to Olympus. I've got to distract Zeus before I can conquer Mycenae, and that will be the last goal. So I'm going to let this run on, get this all back up to the level it should be. I don't think I'll be able to put down any trade posts anywhere along here, so I can get 1 there. That's about it, really, to be honest. That's about the limits of trade in this opened up area, but there is over here as well. I can just move the roads around. So I'll just let this run. I'll come back in a bit later. Okay, so we've managed to sort out some of this mess. We put down a few urchin keys around here. For some inexplicable reason, this entire section here, completely straight line coast, you can't build a thing on it. It just says, find a good site near the water, as if it's nowhere near the water. So I guess the way the flood happens, it just doesn't like that being placed there. I can't even build a frigate there either. Over here we have, it needs a frigate, it needs stored armour, and I think it's because the things set to get. That's bad building from me. We are importing meat out of Mount Pelion here. We've got another block here as well, just providing as much food as possible. I think they're within range of everything else, that's okay. We are importing quite a lot. Importing wheat out of Malacca and fleece from there as well. And yeah, everything's stable here, I think. Got enough food, you're close enough to food, that's okay. Got plenty of unemployment. If I could only build one more frigate, I would be very happy. I've got 1, 2, 3. Oh, I've got 6 frigates. That's why it's not letting me build that frigate there, because you have a full fleet of warships. Yeah, apparently I built them all over here and I didn't even notice. But I'm going to go and get the armour. That'll get all that nice and fine. Plenty of trees down here to support that, so I don't need to worry. Got all the oracle that's required. And yeah. It's sort of holding together now with all these flood changes and such. Can I get a urchin key? I can't get one in there, but I can possibly get one in there. I can get one there. And I'll just draw the road down now. Just moving things around. Get out of the way, there we go. And you should be now a bit better. So this is only covering this area, and this guy up here is covering all of this area now. It's just the guy was not going up here frequently enough, and these were getting very close to being damaged, which didn't help at all. But we've got plenty of unemployment now in this city, and I think we should be fairly stable. So, what's Jason like? Is he happy? None of these are operational because we don't have enough armour over here, which is just starting to deploy into these things now, so we should start getting them staffed and working. So I'll come back in once Jason's been summoned to go and deal with the weapon. I think I'll go and build the monument over here before I do that though.
I am Jason of the Orcus, here to help you in any way I can.
Thank you very much for arriving in my city, Jason. You're going to go and cause a diversion for me. Over here you can see the monument is under construction, and I put down trade posts and all that, got all that set up. I put down the Atlantis trade post because we did need some orichalc, and I might as well have put it there. City's sort of holding together, but you'll notice that much of the food supply is really low. I can't really do much about that. What's this meant to accept? Wheat. I'm not even getting that much wheat out of anyone now, which is not very helpful in the slightest. And what I'm going to do is delete that and put down another orange tender. In fact, what we can do is just put a road going around the back here. And that can just serve here. This can just be accepting wheat. And we will just spam orange tenders again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just spam them all, just get them growing. Might as well, just as a way to boost it up a bit. Looks loves. We've been getting loads of requests and all that, so everyone's pretty happy with us. So let's go and send Jason off on that particular quest. Very easy. And there you go. And he will come back pretty easily, to be honest. I think it's because these are all getting messed up by everything else, which is kind of annoying. We just need so many oranges and we're just not getting them flooding into the system like they were before. And that is a problem. But one thing I will point out, we've gone past 1 million drachma in this mission. We're on 1.1 million.
May not be full now. You'll soon have enough food.
Oh, thank you, Artemis. But there's no hunting here, so it's kind of shit, but never mind. I think she's just sort of filled up a random granary, I think, with food. I think. Let me just check. And go to site of event. Nothing, there is no site of event. I think she just sort of fills up a random granary with food.
You have fulfilled my quest.
Great. When Zeus saw me with Jason, he flew into a jealous rage. He's still up here on Olympus cursing the name of Jason. He won't be thinking about the Greeks anytime soon. You are free to fire your secret weapon at the Greek nuisance. To mark this occasion, you can construct a commemorative monument. Good. Large Hera statue. Oh, why don't we just... oh, this is why we might be having some problems. Over here is devolving because of a lack of food. And I can't get any more food. So that's the problem. I'm literally stretching the boundaries of how much food I can get from people, unfortunately. I'm maxing out this import from Mount Pelion, which doesn't help. I don't get enough oranges over here. It's because everything's been shifted to the wrong side, essentially. But I hope that this flood will sort of build it up. Let's just get into this here. Military decline at Mycenae. That's perfect. So I'll be able to send off my troops there. What we can do is nice, just accept all of this. So yeah, everything started just hanging together by inches. It's not really holding perfectly, but maybe I can get all the food over and just get them to dump here instead rather than try to go over here. So yeah, I'll just go and let this movie complete, then I will send off the troops to attack Mycenae, and then we will win the campaign. The Temple of Olympus is complete, finally. And now we can actually delete this industry entirely because we no longer need it. I don't even need to import that much orc. You can see that our housing blocks are very unstable now. This block in particular is struggling very heavily to get food. And what I'm going to do is they are within range of this. So I'm just going to stop it getting oranges here. There's no point. This is just sort of serving no purpose really because it isn't. Just empty all that out, get it out of there, stop distributing food in this granary. What I can do is just sort of straighten this out a bit. Like so. And yeah, it's sort of a balance you have to meet here, so that's waiting instructions. We can delete that, and I can maybe flow the food in a bit better. Let's just set this to accept only 4 urchin, just a very small amount. Let's set this to only accept 4 oranges and sort of get it to push all over to this side instead. Just get food in here. I'll work all that out on my own, so it doesn't really matter, we just need to conquer Mycenae and we can do that very easily. So let's just save and conquer Mycenae and be done with this campaign and this adventure. It was good for a while and now it's just sort of holding together by thin threads basically. So let's send them all off and just speed to victory. I don't want your gift, I don't really care at this point, I just want you to get food onto this side. All of them will go off and we will now win pretty much at this point. They will succeed because that military decline was intended to weaken them.
Dateline Cleitos. Happy shouting fills the streets of all Atlantean cities today. The Greeks are defeated once and for all, and Atlantis is again safe. Already, plentiful supplies have been distributed through Atlantis, and Atlantean homemakers no longer need to make goods stretch. Andromache, the wife of an Atlantean charioteer, had this to say.
Thank the gods that there was finally enough meat to go around. I was running out of things to do with oranges. Orange a la king, orange casserole, orange surprise, orange tetrazzini. If I never have another orange, it'll be too soon.
Our men returning from the front report that the weapon caused significant destruction throughout Greece. Said one soldier,
The weapon did an astounding amount of damage. On our way to Mycenae, we passed strings of bedraggled men and women whose homes had been destroyed. The cities that we passed through were in ruins, obliterated by the chain of earthquakes and tidal waves that the weapon set off. Mycenae itself was in shambles. The city was ablaze, and there were gaping holes in its walls. Thanks to the weapon and to science, defeating the Greeks was much easier than it could have been. Sir!
and so the world begins to clean up the mess that the war made and start anew. Atlantis is on the verge of a new golden age.
It must be, but that is the end of the threats. Let's proceed to the end of the adventure.
Dateline Atlantis. A new day has dawned, and the 10 kingdoms of Atlantis are in full bloom. Well-fed children play in the city streets, and Atlantean men and women are able to devote their lives to scientific pursuits. In the city of Atlantis, the great citadel of Poseidon is being rebuilt, and is more glorious than it had been before. Throughout the Mediterranean, happy Egyptians and Phoenicians work hard for the greater glory of Atlantis, providing Atlantean industries with the raw materials that they need to produce exquisite goods. With the Greeks and Centaurs gone, there is nothing left to fear. Atlantis is at peace, and the new golden age has begun.
So that is the adventure complete. We really smashed them out. We killed them completely. So let's just head to new adventure and look at the next one. That was that adventure. And that I will point out is the end of the Poseidon changes. Proteus and Bellerophon goes back to quite a lot of the Zeus mechanics, so you've got culture rather than science. No more of those observatories or those silly glitches with the museum and all that. So, Proteus and Bellerophon is the next campaign, but we're going to start that in the next part. But it's a very easy one, we'll be able to power through it quite quickly. Thanks for watching, I will see you in the next part. We'll start the Proteus and Bellerophon campaign. Bye now.